Hello, hi, this is Tio at the Martial Arts Center, and I'm speaking to the kids today regarding our stranger danger. Stranger danger, a very important subject for everyone, especially our kids. One of the things that we want to emphasize for you guys is be smart, be safe, don't use drugs. Drugs are very bad if you're not supposed to be taking them. They're for people who are sick, not just for playing around. So remember that saying, be smart, be safe, don't use drugs. So now let's talk about stranger danger. There are 6 rules to our stranger danger topic, and we'll go over each one of them. First, most important rule is never ever talk to strangers. If you see somebody who's out on the street, who walks up to you, who starts talking to you, and you don't know them, that's a bad stranger. We don't want them talking to us. They shouldn't be talking to us. They should talk to the parents, not us. So that goes into our second rule, the 2 types of strangers. The first one, we call them good strangers. They leave us alone. They don't talk to us. They don't do anything. The second type of stranger is the bad stranger. And as I just said, those are the strangers who try to talk to you because that's when they're going to try to do their tricks. So let's not let them talk to us. If they do, immediately go find an adult that you trust and let them know what's happening. If they are aware that somebody's talking to you and they don't know them, they're going to be very concerned. If they do know them, then they'll be relieved because they'll know that it was a friend or somebody that they already know as well. On the phone, for the third rule, there are 3 numbers that we use in an emergency. Those numbers are 911. Now, if you're not familiar with how to dial 911, back in the old days when we had phones that you had to lift up to talk on, numbers would be on the keypad that you have to push. Nowadays, if you're just using a cell phone, you'd also need to know how to open the phone if it's got a lock on it. So one of those things that we want to try to do is, working with our parents, let them help you understand how to dial 911 only for emergencies. If you do it when it's not an emergency, you're going to get in a lot of trouble. Rule number 4, when we are listening to the phone ring, we know that after a certain number of rings, it stops because it goes to voicemail. So the 4th rule goes like this: let the phone ring 4 times. Let the parents answer the phone. They have on their phones caller ID so they don't get tricked. If you can not understand who's calling you, parents get tricked all the time. It's very easy for kids to be tricked as well. So let's let the parents answer the phones. The 5th rule, and this is my favorite rule because it involves us understanding distance away from strangers, and that is always stay 5 giant steps away from strangers in a car. Now, I'm not talking about little tiny baby steps. I'm talking about 5 giant adult steps, maybe even more, because you want to try to get away from a person who's in a car because they can get you, put you in the car, and drive away very quickly. So what we're trying to do is create distance between us and them, so it makes it more challenging, more difficult, and impossible for them to grab you and put you in the car. And then the last rule, I call it the one that we say, don't forget the other 5. And I learned that rule from my very good friend Charlie Foxman when he told us that this is the most important rule, because when we use it to point, it reminds us that those 5 rules are the important rules. Let's be safe. We don't have to be afraid to be kids. We don't have to be concerned about walking outside, but we should be very, very careful. Keep that in mind when you're trying to practice your stranger danger rules, and best of luck with that. Let me know what you think.